So we'll start with Josh. You have an extensive history with musicals and theater. What did it mean to get to do this movie and kind of bring that passion for music to that younger audience?
It's an extremely personal story, and a very something that I was just grateful that I was able to tell it and to be a part of it. A lot of things, a lot of moving pieces had to be in the right place for it to happen. People like BD Wong and Lea Salonga built the foundation for me to have a career on Broadway. And it was so important for me to see an Asian American as a director because it's not something that we typically see on Broadway. It's very rare. And I aspire to be a director in the future. And so I really wanted BD to be the director. And when he said yes, I was like beside myself. And then after we worked with him, I remember the day after on set with him, we were texting back and forth, Steve Donovan and I were like, oh my, he's so cool. He's like the nicest guy and he's funny. Like, so that was, I hope that kids walk away from this show, even if they don't want to be an actor, even if they don't want to be a director, but just full of possibility. And that's what I hope that we inspire with this movie.
Absolutely, and I think it will. Um,
Yeah.
and Donovan, you've acted and voiced in so many unique projects over the years, and then coming back to Blue's Clues now and then. But what's it like to return for this full film?
Oh, it's nothing but fun. I will work with these guys anytime. Anytime I get to be on set with Josh and with Steve, the three of us strike a really good balance. I don't quite know like how to accurately describe the chemistry in terms of a chemical compound or something, but it works. Just what each of us individually kind of bring makes a really fun atmosphere on set, and I think it really comes through in the movie too. But for this movie, my favorite part of the whole thing. I mean, because that almost feels selfish that I get to enjoy it as much as it is, and I think it really comes through. The joy comes through on screen. But being able to watch what Josh does in this movie, what Josh is capable of, um, fills me with boiling jealousy. First of all, and then when I get over that, I realize I'm just having a great time.
That's awesome. And Josh, there's a lot of fun scenes in New York where you think an object is sentient and you see someone use it and you're horrified.
Yeah.
What was it like to film those?
Oh, it's all that you ever want to do as an actor is to be in a situation and then get to really ham it up. There's some of my favorite things. Elf is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I definitely took cues from Will Ferrell in Elf. And on top of that, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is a huge reference point for our show and our franchise. And it was one of my favorite movies of all time growing up and is still to this day. So to be able to interact with Blue and all of our animated characters, but in a world that is very real and have them accepted as like, oh yeah, I mean, there's a great scene where New Yorkers see Blue for the very first time. And it couldn't be more true of probably how it would probably go down. And so it was a great time, and I can't wait for people to see it and for people to come back to New York and look at these landmarks and be like, oh, and that's where they filmed Blue's Clues.
Yeah, it's so fun. And Donovan, you kind of touched on this a bit, but what's it like to work with Josh and Steve, given you've had this similar experience of being, the host of Blue's Clues, but you've all done it at very different periods of time. Is there like a camaraderie there?
Oh, totally. Well, I mean, we have a shared understanding having done that. It's such a unique thing to do in television or now in movies. Essentially, it's just very maybe people like with doing stuff on social media kind of might get a little bit close to it, but I don't think they necessarily do because it's a rare thing when you speak to your audience and then you listen to your audience at the same time in real time. And so yeah, so that starts off as like a just like kind of a thing that we all understand, but there's just so much fun to be around. And anytime we're all together, it's just, we're all three different ingredients that make a really good soup.
That's an awesome way to put it. And Josh, what was it like to sing with Ali Stroker in Taboo?
Oh, I mean, come on. I was a fan of Taboo growing up. Like, Taboo and the Black Eyed Peas really hit me hard, because it was like, oh my gosh, look at this diverse music group and everybody loves them and they're making amazing, amazing music. And to this day, Taboo is representing Indigenous peoples everywhere and giving them a platform. And it's incredible. And writing about them in comic books. Like, growing up, you never saw yourself as a superhero. I never saw myself as a superhero. So to be able to work with somebody that inspired me when I was younger and that is inspiring me today is hugely impactful in the rest of my life and what I aspire to do with it. Ali Stroker, speaking of inspiring, I saw her on stage for the very first time in Spring Awakening, and it was at a point in my career where I wasn't really being inspired by a lot of musical theater. And then I saw her in that, and I felt rejuvenated. I was like, that's what I want to do. That's how I want to interpret work. And I hope that I'm able to come close to the type of personal work that she is able to just naturally do in any role that she takes. So a huge learning experience for me.